Hello everyone. In this video lecture, we are going to discuss about carbohydrates. And this topic is included into the BSc third semester of Guru Jambheshwar University of Science and Technology, Hisar. And this topic is further subdivided into the subtopics carbohydrates 1, carbohydrates 2 and carbohydrates 3. So let's start with the first subtopic carbohydrates 1. Let's start with the introduction part. What is a carbohydrate? A carbohydrate is either a polyhydroxy aldehyde or a polyhydroxy ketone or compound formed by linking the polyhydroxy aldehyde and or polyhydroxy ketones. And the chemical structure is generally represented by the Fischer projection. It is named after the German chemist Hermann Fischer. So the other projection are the Haber projection, but the common presentation is Fischer projection. And they have the general formula C6H2O6. For example, carbohydrate, glucose has C6H12O6 and fructose also has the formula same C6H12O6, but they are structurally different because the glucose has the aldehyde group and the fructose has the ketonic group. In this diagram, the first diagram is glucose and the second diagram is fructose. D-glucose, D-fructose. What is the meaning of D? We will discuss it little later. So the shaded area is same in both the molecules, but the structure at these two carbon atoms is different. This carbon has a OH group, this carbon has the ketonic group, this carbon has aldehyde group, but this carbon has the hydroxy. So the glucose is the polyhydroxy aldehyde and fructose is a polyhydroxy ketone. And then the classification of carbohydrate. Carbohydrate is named in different ways: carbohydrate, saccharide, and sugar. All are same thing, but there are different names. A simple carbohydrate is known as monosaccharide, a single sugar. A disaccharide has two monosaccharide units. An oligosaccharide has 3 to 10 units, and a polysaccharide has more than 10 number of monosaccharide units. It may have up to thousands. In the diagram, a polysaccharide is represented by a monosaccharide subunit linked together. So there are several monosaccharide units which are linked together. Upon hydrolysis, we will get the n number of M molecules. M capital M stands for monosaccharides. These values n is 2, 3, 10 or maybe thousands or more than thousands. For example, sucrose, which is a disaccharide, upon hydrolysis gave two molecules, one glucose, one fructose, means two monosaccharide units. For example, cellulose, which is a polysaccharide, upon hydrolysis it will give approximately 3000 monosaccharide units of glucose. And then classification of carbohydrates. As we know, the monosaccharides can be polyhydroxy aldehyde or a polyhydroxy ketone, and they are also known with the name aldose and ketose. Aldose means L stand for aldehyde, OH stand for the sugar. Similarly, in ketose, keto stands for ketonic group and O stands for the sugar. Those with 3 carbon are known as triose, with 4 carbon tetrose, with 5 carbon pentose, and so on. Let's clear this concept by taking a number of examples. This is D-ribose. It has 5 number of carbon, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This compound is known as D-ribose. This is known as D-pseudoheptulose. This is D-mannose. Let's look at the structure. The first structure is glucose and aldohexose. Means it has an aldehyde group and 6 number of carbon and it is a sugar. Then fructose, a ketohexose, means it is a ketonic group and 6 number of carbon atom. Ribose, it has an aldehyde group and 5 carbon atom. Pseudohaptulose, it is a ketohaptulose, means it has a ketonic group and 7 number of carbon atom. Then stereochemistry of carbohydrate, the Fischer projection. Okay, so how to draw the Fischer projection for a carbohydrate molecule? As we know, the carbon is sp3 hybridized and sp3 carbon is tetrahedral. Tetrahedral means it has 4 number of bonds. The 2 bonds are in the plane of the paper along with the carbon, and the 2 bonds are out of the plane. The 1 bond is away from us and the 1 bond is towards us. So this is a tetrahedral carbon. Okay, and tetrahedral carbon is not planar. It has 4 bonds. The 2 bonds with W and X are in one plane, and these 2 bonds Y and Z are the outer. So we can consider the Y, Z and C are in one plane and W and X are out of the plane. So the maximum 3 atoms will be in the plane in a tetrahedral carbon, including the central carbon. So any 2 out of W, X, Y, Z and a carbon will always in a single plane. Now, what can we do? Press here and make it flat. Okay, like this. So now the molecule will become flat. All the 4 bonds are in the plane. And now we can represent this molecule in the Fischer projection like this. So there is a vertical line and there is a horizontal. So this carbon, which is tetrahedral carbon, is now can be represented by a cross. At the center of this cross there is carbon, of course, and the 4 group X, W, X, Y, Z are on the vertical and the horizontal line, and this projection is known as a Fischer projection. Let us explain it by taking some real example. Let's take this example. Okay, so in this example there is carbon, tetrahedral carbon. It is bonded with 3 groups, CHO, CH2OH, OH and H. The CH2OH and CHO are in the plane and OH and H are out of the plane. The OH is towards us and the H is away from us. How can we write this? Like this. CHO and CH2OH, which are in the plane of the paper, are represented like this, and H and OH, which are out of the plane, are represented like this. Then further, now make this a cross like this, and HOH are here and CHO and CH2OH are here. So bonds out of phase, H and OH, which are out of the phase here, are now on the horizontal line, and the bond which are into the phase earlier, the CHO and CH2OH, are on the vertical. Okay. Then this compound is known as R-glyceraldehyde. What is the meaning of R? R stands for the absolute concentration. We will discuss this later on. And this is the Fischer projection. So this compound is changed into the Fischer projection. The bonds which are in the plane earlier are on the vertical line, and the bonds which are out of the plane are now on the horizontal line. Let's take one other example, R-butanol. This is R-butanol. The CH3 and CH2CH3, methyl and ethyl group are in the plane of paper, and the hydroxy group is towards us and H is away from us. So H and OH are out of the plane and methyl and ethyl in the plane. So first, this carbon is here, H, OH, which are out of the, which are not in the plane, are on the horizontal, and these are on the vertical. And further, these cross here, of course, carbon. So H, which is away from us, is on the horizontal line and is on the left hand side, and OH, which was towards us and out of the plane of paper, is on the horizontal line, it is on the right hand side, and this is above So this is above but on the vertical line, and the CH3 on the below line. Now let's convert a Fischer projection into the chemical formula. Then how can we do it? So the horizontal bond are away from us and the vertical bond are in plane. So COH, carboxylic and CH3 are in the plane, COH and CH3 are in the plane, and H, which is on the left hand side, is away from us, and OH, which is on the right hand side, which is towards us. So we can change a chemical formula into Fischer projection, and also we can change a Fischer projection into a chemical formula. Then D and L notation. What is D and what is L? If the OH group attached to the bottommost asymmetric center, bottommost but asymmetric center, be careful, the carbon atom should be bottommost and also asymmetric. In a Fischer projection, the second carbon from the bottom is on the right, then the compound is a D sugar. And if the same OH group is on the left, then the compound is an L sugar. Almost all sugar found in the nature are D sugar. This D is capital. The mirror image of D sugar is a L sugar. So this D is capital and this L is also capital. As we know, the amino acids are mostly L, but the sugar are D. This is diglyceraldehyde. Okay. This carbon is bottommost, but this carbon is not asymmetric carbon. So this carbon is on the bottom, but is also asymmetric. Asymmetric means it is bonded with the 4 different groups. Okay. So there are two conditions. It should be the bottommost and it should be the asymmetric. This is the bottommost. This is not asymmetric. So we have to go one step above this carbon. This is asymmetric. So this carbon have, if OH group on the right hand side, this is known as the D-glyceraldehyde or R plus glyceraldehyde. So R stands for the absolute configuration and D stands for the relative configuration. For example, D-ribose 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is ribose. This is known as D-ribose because the second carbon has, or the first asymmetric carbon from the bottom has OH group on the right hand side. The D-glucose, this group is again present on the right hand side. D-fructose, OH group is present on the right hand side. And then L-glyceraldehyde, this is S. S stands for the absolute configuration, L stands for the relative configuration. Now the OH group on the asymmetric center from bottom, first asymmetric center from the bottom has OH group on the left hand side. So this is known as L. This is L-glucose. Look at this carbon. Earlier this carbon has OH group on the right hand side, so it was D, but now it is present on the left hand side, so this is L-glucose. If you take the mirror image of this compound, it should be a D. Then configuration of aldose. Okay. So aldotetrose have two asymmetric centers and therefore 4 stereoisomers. 2 of these stereoisomers are D sugar and 2 are L sugar. The name of the aldotetrose, erythrose and threose were used to name the erythro and threo pair of the acid. Okay. So the number of stereoisomers are given by the formula 2 raised to power n, where n is the number of stereocenters. For example, if there is only one stereocenter, 2 raised to power 1 is, so we have 2 stereoisomers. If the value of n is 2, 2 raised to power 2, 4, then we have 4. Is 3, then 2 raised to power 3, 8, and so on. This is known as the erythrose because it has 1, 2, 3, 4 carbon atom and the 2 stereocenters, 1 and 2. Okay, so 2 raised to power 4. Erythrose, why erythrose? Why D? Because the bottommost asymmetric center has OH group on the right hand side. So it is D. Erythrose means both the OH group are on the same side. Second, L-erythrose. This OH is now on the left hand side, that's why L, but the second OH is also on the left hand side. So both the group are on the same side. If both the OH group are on the same side, either on the right or on the left, the naming is erythrose. Now, it is a threose, D-threose. Why D? Because this carbon atom has OH on the right hand side and this on the left hand side. Now, the OH group are diagonal. Here the OH group are on the same side. So when the OH group are on the opposite side, it is known as threose. Similarly, it is L-threose because this carbon atom has OH on the left hand side and the both OH group are on the opposite side. So that's why threose. So it has 4 stereoisomer. So this isomer, this one and this one are the mirror image, and this one also the non-superimposable mirror. So we have a pair of enantiomer and a pair of enantiomer. So 2 pair means total 4 stereoisomers. So aldopentones have 3 asymmetric centers and therefore 8 stereoisomers. 4 pair of enantiomers. Aldohexose have 4 asymmetric centers and 16 stereoisomers. 8 pair of the enantiomers. The structure of the D-aldopentose and the 8 D-aldohexose are shown. Let's discuss them. Look at this. What is this? This is a reference compound, D-glyceraldehyde. How many carbon are there? 1, 2, 3 carbon. And there are how many asymmetric centers? There is 1 asymmetric center. How many isomers are possible? 2 isomers are possible. Okay. So let's start from here. There are how many? First, D-erythrose. So 1, 2, 3. It has 3 carbon. So let's go to the moiety with 4 carbon. 1, 2, 3, 4. It is D-erythrose. D means the bottommost asymmetric center has OH on the right hand side, and erythrose means both the OH group are on the same side. Second situation, when the OH group are on the opposite side, we get the second D-threose. So it also has a mirror image in which this OH group will come on the right hand side and this OH group will come on the left hand side. So if there is mirror, we get mirror image. So there are 2 and there are total are 4. So how can we remember this? By this R by L. R by right left means on this carbon the OH group is present on the right and in this one the OH group is present on the left. Second 2R means on this carbon atom the OH group is always present on the right hand side. This is one right hand side and this right hand side. Okay, let's move further. Come here. D-ribose 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Now there are 5 carbon. How many asymmetric center? 1, 2, 3. 3 asymmetric center. And 2 raised to power 3 is 8. So we have 8 stereoisomers. Then how can we remember them? Their name are D-ribose, D-ribinose, D-xylose and D-dioxose. So first start from here. And how can we remember this? R by L. There is alternate right, left, right, left. So the OH group is on the right, then on the left, then on the right, and then on the left. So these are 4. So there are 4 mirror images. So we have total 8. On the second carbon, here the asymmetric center, 2R by 2L. Means 2 have OH on the right hand side and 2 has OH on the left hand side. OH, 2 on the right hand side and 2 on the left hand side. Then 4R means all the 4 carbon atom has OH on the right hand side. Right, 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 and right. So this is the method by which we can remember or understand the position of the OH. Then we move further. Let's come here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 carbon atom. And how many stereo center? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 stereo center means we have how many stereoisomer? 2 raised to power 4. 16. We have 16. So we started with the 3 carbon. 1, 2, 3 carbon atom. Only 1 stereo center. So there are 2 stereoisomer. This is 1 and there is mirror and second one. Then we increase 1 more carbon atom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Total 5 carbon and there are 2 stereo center. Then there are 3 stereo center and then there are 4 stereo center. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 stereo center. So we start with 1 stereo center and we are now at the 4 stereo centers. So first let's draw all these. So R by L means there is alternate right left OH. Right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left. Then 2R by 2L. Okay, means 2 have on the right, 2 on the left. Right, right, left, left. Right, right, left. Then 4R by 4L. 4 has right, 4 on the left. Right, 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 left, 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 left. Then 8R means 8, all the 8 carbon have on the right hand side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is OH. So OH, all the 8 are on the right hand side. So we can easily remember R by L, R by L, R by L. 2R, okay, because there is no more stereo center, so it will be here. Then 2R by 2L, 2R by 2L. Then 4R, there is no more stereo center, so it is 4R. It is 4R by 4L and it is 8R. And so on. We can go the stereoisomer of the next one, which has 7 number of carbon. Then come to the part epimer. What is epimer? Monosaccharides that differ in configuration at only one asymmetric center are called epimer. For example, D-ribose, D-ribinose are C2 epimers because they differ in the configuration only at the carbon number 2. D-iodose and D-talose are C3 epimers. An epimer is a particular kind of diastereomer. Let's explain this point by considering the example. Look at these two molecules, D-ribose and D-ribose. Why D? Because the bottommost asymmetric center has OH on the right hand side. So that's why it is D. Ribose and ribinose are their name. These are C2 epimers because they are different only at the carbon number 2. This is carbon number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the configuration at carbon number 2 is different. All the configuration is same remaining. So only difference at the 2. Here at the carbon number 2 was on the right hand side, here on the left hand side. So it is a, so this is a pair of C2 epimer. Second example, here the configuration is different only at the carbon number 3. All the carbon have the same configuration, but except 3, the 3 have different configuration. So it is an example of C3 epimer. So D-iodose and D-talose are the example of C3 epimers. Now, D-glucose, D-mannose and D-galactose are the most common sugar. Okay. And an easy way to learn this structure is to memorize the structure of D-glucose only, and there is no need to memorize the structure of mannose and galactose. Okay, how? This is D-glucose. Okay, this is D-glucose. Just draw the structure of D-glucose, or remember the structure of D-glucose. Then this is D-mannose. What is the difference between D-glucose and D-mannose? Look at the configuration of each carbon. Same. There is difference. Same. So at the carbon number 2, there is difference in the configuration. So they are the C2 atoms. Okay. So this carbon atom, which is inside the box, have different configuration. So D-mannose and D-glucose are actually the C2 atoms. Then D-glucose and D-galactose. What is the difference between the two structures? Same, but here is different. This carbon and this carbon. So carbon number 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 number carbon has different configuration around. So it is actually a pair of C4 epimer. So this is C2 epimer and this is C4 epimer. Then configuration of ketose. In the similar manner as we done the configuration of aldohexose or the glucose and other molecules, in similar pattern we can configure the ketose. The ketose have a keto group in the 2 position. A ketose has one less asymmetric center than the aldose with the same number of carbon atoms. Therefore, a ketose has only half as many stereoisomers as an aldose with the same number of carbon. Look at this compound. This is dihydroxyacetone. Okay, and this is D-erythrulose, CH2OH, OH. Because the bottommost asymmetric center has OH on the right hand side, that's why it is D. And this is ketone. So earlier in the configuration we have an aldehyde group at the top carbon. Now we have keto group on the second carbon from the top. So this molecule has CH2OH, 1, 2, 3, 4 carbon. And how many asymmetric center? There is only one asymmetric center. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We increase one carbon atom. Now how many asymmetric center we have? We have 2 asymmetric center. Okay. So this molecule, if you draw a mirror here, then a second molecule will form in which both the OH group will be on the left hand side. So this is a pair 1, 2, and also there is mirror to another molecule 4. So there are 4. How many stereocenter are there? 2. 2 raised to power 2, 4. So we will get the 4 total number of stereoisomers. Then let's make one more carbon atom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 carbon atoms. Earlier in glucose there were 6 carbon atoms and 4 stereoisomers. But here only 3 stereoisomers. So 2 raised to power 3, 8. So we will get total 8 number of stereoisomers in 4 pairs. So these are 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And the other 4 are the mirror image of these 4 molecules. Thank you very much for watching the video.